It is tantamount to rape because that is not a choice. It is not a choice. Not everybody has somebody overseas that could help them if they find themselves in that position. Some persons are the sole breadwinner for their family, and for them, it is not a choice. It's a lose-lose situation.
All
So she
right.
was very right when she saw the analogy that the government is tantamount to a person who rapes a woman because they're not giving us a choice.
Okay. All right.
That's my contribution.
All right. Thank you so much, caller. Well, guess what? At this time, we're joined by the lady herself. Good morning, Nekeisha.
Good morning, Crystal. Good morning, and how are you?
I am great. How are you doing this morning, boy? Getting real blows this morning, boy. But people
Well,
are defending you as well.
it's a good thing my back broad, and that's
Oh
perfectly fine.
Lord.
That's perfectly fine. I mean, we're all entitled to our opinion, and it
Mm-hmm.
makes it even more difficult if we're not understanding where the person is coming from.
Okay, so let us hear
So
from you. Where are you coming from?
they are a lot of persons are looking at rape as somebody that we don't know that forced themselves upon us. You understand? It's violent. It's it's ridiculously painful.
Mm-hmm.
However, if I am staying at somebody's house and they determine if I decide not to give them sex, they're demanding sex from me, and I decide not to give them, they're going to put me outside, which means I have no place to stay. If I'm forced, I feel forced, I feel pressured, I feel somehow coerced and not given any real option. Is either I give you sex or I leave,
Mm-hmm.
then you are raping me. You are raping me because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not willingly giving it to you or offering it to you. You're
Mm-hmm.
taking it from me, whether I really want or not, because you're taking advantage of a certain situation that you are in position of to do such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the very same thing as the government. They're the ones that have persons employed. So they now are taking people. So it says whether you're willing or you're not willing, take the vaccine. If not, you lose all your years. Some persons, like I said, have 20 plus years. Some persons are at retirement's door. How do you decide after all these years of service to take all of that from somebody and you don't equate it to rape? You're raping me. Rape has many different levels,
Mm-hmm.
and this is one of them. It's a violation of the human body. Whether you choose uh, to actually look at it that way or not, that doesn't change the fact of actually what it is.
Hmm. Now, are you affected by the mandate? You're a teacher.
Yes, I am. I am.
Where are you teaching, if you don't mind sharing?
I'm at the Buckerman Bay Secondary School
How
after
has it been?
20 years of service.
20 years. Your
20 years
entitlement.
of service.
Your
Yes.
entitlement. What do you stand? What are you risking losing right now as a teacher after 20 years?
I risk losing my gratuity. I risk losing my pension. I risk losing all of the vacation days that I have not taken in years, which amounts to roughly about 200 or so vacation days. Because I haven't gone on vacation for quite a while. It's just going nonstop.
Mm-hmm. Have you
So
sat
yes,
down? Go ahead. All right.
we do feel violated. I feel violated.
Mm-hmm. Have you sat down with your principal or maybe the PS of Education, CEO, anybody from within the Ministry of
As a
Education?
personal, as a person or as a PRO of Rice Iruna.
Either as a person, as a
As a
teacher.
person, yes. I have spoken as a teacher, yes. I would have had conversation with my principal. I would have had conversation with other teachers, as well as other stakeholders in the education system. I have. And
Mm-hmm.
most persons understand why persons feel the way that they feel. But a lot of persons feel helpless and hopeless with it, which is another emotion that rape victims feel after a rape.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do you think that it was the right time to make that sort of analogy, though? I mean, based on the response, I'm sure you've read some comments on Facebook. Do you
Yes,
think
I
it's the
actually
right time?
do. And I stand at my word. I will not retract it. I believe what I believe, and that is that. You don't get to violate people and people not respond how they're feeling. It's like telling me my feelings are not validated. We need to stop telling people that,
Mm-hmm.
which is yet another situation that rape victims go through,
Mm-hmm.
that their feelings are not validated. And persons are asking, saying, oh, it's a slap in the face to rape victims.
Mm-hmm.
Does any one of them know what it feels like to be a rape victim? Well, guess what? I do.
So
So I am telling you,
hold on, Nikisha. Hold on. Are you saying to us that you are a victim of rape? Yeah.
yes, I am. I am. So people cannot tell me what it feels like to be raped. I will tell you.
Oh boy. Oh wow. Is it the first time you're making this revelation, or?
No, it's actually not.
Oh.
Quite a number of persons know. I mean, it's not a public um situation, but it is what it is. A lot of persons choose not to come and say what they have to say because of things like this. They
Uh-huh.
always want to believe somebody has a motive. People don't know me. You don't know my story. So people need to lay off or, or not. Keep on, bring the blows, let it come. That's fine.
Uh-huh. How, well, you said you feel invalidated in a sense. How did the negative responses, or were there any other emotions that were wrapped around or included in that invalidation when you heard people responding to this is a slap in the face for rape victims, knowing what you know and feeling or remembering all of these things, making this revelation now? How do you think it changes things?
I don't think it would change anything, to be quite honest,
Mm-hmm.
because persons in St. Vincent and persons abroad, persons generally, they don't listen to understand. They listen to rebut. They listen only to see what points they can grab from and say something after. They're not trying to understand the situation of the hundreds and probably thousands of persons out there that are going to be put on the breadline. They're not understanding how things like this keep rape victims silent. They keep silent. They can't deal with, or maybe you could have done something else, or you show it was rape, or you this, or you that. I mean, it doesn't change anything. It won't change anything. Until people are ready to listen, it doesn't change anything.
Mm-hmm. What are your plans going forward, Nikisha? As a teacher, you've been given 10 days. Well, 10 days starting from the 19th. What are your plans going forward? If come November 29th, nothing changes and you're not allowed to work, what have they told you? Did they tell you that you will be fired, or did they tell you will
No
work?
one has told me anything. Hence, I go to work. I teach.
You're still teaching.
Yes, I am. I am teaching. I will continue to teach until the CMO, the Ministry of Education, starts handing out letters or whatever. Make it official. If you're going to fire somebody, make it official. If you're going to take me for misconduct, make it official. Just like when I was appointed 20 years ago, I received a letter with with basically terms and conditions of my employment.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a letter that says my services are no longer required.
Mm-hmm.
But I am telling you, Crystal, this
Mm-hmm.
battle is very, very far from over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do if you lose your job, Nikisha?
Crystal, God make mouth and he shall provide bread. Eh?
All right. All right. Could you speak on, well, for other teachers within the school, how are they feeling? Are they feeling the same as you? Have other teachers taken the vaccine, even if they were not comfortable with doing it?
Yeah, a lot of persons have taken the vaccine, although they're not comfortable with it. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of persons have taken the vaccine. November 19th, well, the 18th, 19th, ever since this date was set, a lot of teachers have been having a lot of sleepless nights. It's not easy to be fighting with your conscience. At one moment, you're like, I want my job. I need my job. I love my kids. I want to be there for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other breath, you're like, but this is me. Do I choose my economic status or do I choose me?
Mm-hmm.
I chose me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, you said you have not taken vacation. You have 200 plus vacation days to take still.
Roughly, roughly. Yep.
Hey, why haven't you taken vacation, Nikisha?
But I mean, Christelle, a lot of times I'm not the only teacher that hasn't taken vacation in a number of years. I know of teachers who haven't taken vacation in over 10 years. Some things they started teaching, they never took a day vacation. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Especially this year, when would teachers take vacation? When? At what point were we able to take vacation this year?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can't see any time, any period for that matter. Because
Mm-hmm.
the minute the students are not in class per se, we still have a whole lot of other things to do.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's just not possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you're told to hand over your lesson plans, will you do that?
That is my intellectual property. Nobody gets that.
That was rather interesting. What are some of the other challenges you're facing apart from COVID-19? What are some of the other challenges you're facing as a teacher
As a
within the
teacher,
government
the
system?
number of issues teachers are facing are truly incredulous.
Mm-hmm.
Take, for example, I am a home ec teacher, and we are yet to have, we just got our building, so I'm quite grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
And but we don't have anything inside it to say cutlery, plates, cups. For years, every year, my class gets to Form 5. I have a new Form 5. I am bombarded with issues as having meetings with parents and begging every time I have to have a practical, pack my car with everything in my house to take to school so that students don't they have a fighting chance. You understand? From plates to platters to aprons, hair nets, my mixers, my blenders. My students could testify. I don't need to go into full detail because
Mm-hmm.
there are persons that could testify on my behalf as to the sacrifices which are made every single year as a home ec teacher,
Mm-hmm.
as a teacher generally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you feel disrespected when they made teachers frontline workers?
Well, I knew it was coming, based on the pattern, the global pattern that I have been seeing emerge. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? We saw that although they said teachers were not frontline workers in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
we knew that it was only a matter of time. The government is going to flex its muscle on the persons that they feel they have authority over, they have absolute power over, which would be civil servants, period. So nurses were first. Then you come with the police and customs and immigration and that sort of thing. Then
Mm-hmm.
the next bunch of persons would be the teachers. And
But you,
then they would go into the ministries right after. And
mm,
then they will take the children. But they've already started. We see community college making it mandatory for second year students to have vaccines. We see persons, secondary schools sending home letters to parents, highly recommending that the students become vaccinated. But we
mm-hmm.
know what highly recommended means. We should not play coy at a time like this. It
Mm-hmm.
would be that would be a slap in the face of those persons that are more knowing.
Uh-huh. Ah, boy. So, if you're just joining us, we've got Nikisha joining us right here on the wake up call, responding to the comments, some negative, some positive, when she made reference to the vaccine mandate being that of a rapist. And she's standing by her word. She's not backing down. She has not changed anything whatsoever. Nikisha, I want to read this comment here because we got to wrap up in a minute. In about a minute or so, all right? Nikisha, someone sent me your article last night, and when I read it, I applauded you. I'm shocked today hearing the way some persons responded, namely to use the word of rape. I never found there were any issues as I knew the several meanings of the word rape. For the record, our country has been and continue to be raped today by outside entities. Lady, I continue to applaud you. Good morning,
Well,
Crystal. Stop being raped and have nowhere or no one to report to. Well, she just got knocked out there. I'm not sure what happened. I'm wondering if she answered a call or something. But oh, There we go. You went out the browser.
Yes,
All right.
hello.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So first of all, I want to thank you for joining us and for sharing that bit there with us and for clearing things up and for answering people really and truly. Any final thoughts?
I really am just satisfied that a
Mhm,
lot of persons will now take a look in the mirror and realize that when people open their mouths to speak, don't be so judgmental.
mhm,
Try to understand what is really going on. Put aside all your biases, whether political or whatever, because a lot of these comments are based, they're etched in political venom. So
mhm.
let us move away from that. Let us understand each other. Let us try for once to be our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper, even. Stand
Mhm.
with your teachers. A lot of them your children would have come across. Stand with your nurses. Stand with your policemen, your coast guard workers, your customs officers, your immigration workers. Whether you're in the civil service or not, stand because the time will come when you will need somebody to stand with you.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Nikisha. Have a wonderful
Thank you
day.
so much for having me,
And
Crystal. Have yourselves a wonderful day.
uh,
Good morning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
all right, have a wonderful day. All right, thank you so much. All right.